Okay, in 4.3, we are moving to three-term polynomials. So we started off with just common factors, we did two terms, and now we're gonna go to three terms. And we actually have two different lessons on three terms. This particular one is a three-term polynomial with the a value, which is the number in front of the x squared, equal to 1, okay? So to get you in the habit of how we're going to be doing these kind of questions. The sign rules are hugely important. If you don't know the sign rules, none of this works. Sign rules, hugely important, okay? If the last term is negative, then you're going to have one of each sign, a positive and a negative. Memorization. If the last term is positive, then you're going to have the same signs, either a plus plus or a minus minus. And you're going to know what they are by looking at the middle term. That's going to tell you whether to put plus plus or minus minus. This is where you really have to know your multiplication facts. And if you don't know them, then you're going to make really good use of your calculator, okay? All right, so question number 1. None of these are going to have common factors. They're just going to be straight up trinomials, three terms. So today in lesson 4.3, okay, this first term is always going to be just x to the second power. So it's not going to be any other exponent, and it's not going to have a number in front of it. I'm just check myself as I'm saying that to you. And no number in front of it. So when we take the first times the first, it's always going to be broken up x times x. Just like with your square, with your squares. On your quiz today, when you took x squared and broke it up, you made it x times x. If the last term is positive, then my signs have to be the same, and I'll know what they are by looking to the middle. So since the middle is plus, they're going to be plus plus. Okay, so again, if the last term is positive, that means same signs. We know which ones to use by looking to the middle. And again, that's memorization. My last term multiplies to give me 15. I have two choices. 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. And I'm looking for the pair of numbers that's going to add to give me the middle term. So once I get my pairs that multiply to give me the 15, I'm looking at those numbers and I'm deciding which pair is going to give me the positive 8. And that's going to be my 3 and 5. So 3 and 5, and then positive 3 and positive 5 should give you positive 8. So that's how you're choosing which numbers to use once you get your pairs of numbers. Sign rules, really important. All right, my next question. X squared, again, always going to be x times x today. Positive last term means the same sign again, and we know which ones to use by looking to the middle. So these are going to be minus and minus. And then I have 12 at the end. So 12 is either going to be 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4, and then it starts repeating back to 4 times 3. So I have 3 pairs of numbers, and I'm looking for the pair that's going to give me -7. So the two numbers that give me 7 together are those two. So 3 and 4, it doesn't matter which one you put first, give me my -7. So again, I'm picking the pair of numbers after I list them, if I want to list them. You don't even have to list them. Once you really understand this, or maybe you understand it already, you don't have to list the numbers for me. If you know your multiplication facts pretty well, you may not need to list them. All right, so my next one here, similar to the last one, because I have a 12, x times x, minus at the end means opposite signs. So 1 plus and 1 minus. And then again, I want to get 12. So I talked about my options already for 12. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 4 times 3. This time I have opposite signs. I have a plus sign and I have a minus sign. So I need to find the pair that's going to give me +4. But this time they have to differ by 4. So which pair of numbers does that? 2 and 6. Okay. Now I want to get +4. So which number do I put with the plus? The 6 or the 2?
The 2. The 6.
So I want +4. So I'm going to put the bigger number with the positive, with the plus. So again, these two numbers, +6 and -2, should add to give me the +4. So when you're placing them, where you place them is important. So if I want to get +4, the bigger number goes with the plus. If I want to do -4, then I would have put the 6 with the minus. Okay, next one. X squared, again, x times x. That's going to be the same every question. Minus at the end means one of each sign. 6 can be 1 times 6, and 6 can be 2 times 3. Now this one's kind of tricky, because I want to get in the middle +5. Keeping in mind that I have a positive and a negative. So even though 2 and 3 give me 5, they don't differ by 5, because I have to have one of each sign. So I'm going to go with the 1 and the 6. If I want +5, which number goes with the plus? 6. And then 1. And then again, +6 and -1 should give me +5. So you can double check yourself. So you got to know your multiplication. You got to know your addition and subtraction. Make use of your calculator if you need to, though. All right, x squared, x times x. Minus at the end means one of each sign. 28 can be 1 times 28, 2 times 14, 3 times nothing, 4 times 7, 5 times nothing, 6, and then back to 7. I have one of each sign. So we want the pair that differs by 3. So which pair of numbers?
4 and 7.
4 and 7. And I want to get -3. So which number goes with the plus?
4.
The 4. So the bigger number goes with the minus. So if I want to get a minus, the bigger number goes with the minus. +4 and -7 give me -3.
Is it always changing the signs if it's minus
If the last term is minus, it's always one of each. Yep. And if you place the plus and then the minus, or the minus and the plus, that doesn't matter. It just matters then where you put the numbers. Yeah. But yeah, if the last term is a minus, it's always one of each sign. Okay, my next one here. X times x, again, that's our only choice today. Plus at the end means same sign. We know what they are by looking at the middle. And then 25 is 1 times 25, or 5 times 5. And I want the pair that gives me the 10. So 5 and 5. And again, -5 and -5 give me -10. All right, so our number get a little bit bigger here. X squared, again, one choice, x and x. Positive at the end means the same. Look to the middle, so they're going to be plus plus. And 40 has a few options. 1 times 40, 2 times 20, nothing with 3, 4 times 10, 5 times 8, not 6, not 7, but back to 8, and I'm going to repeat. So the pair, that gives me 13 in the middle. 5 and 8. So positive 5 and positive 8 combined to give me positive 13, okay? So again, I want to emphasize a couple things. You don't have to list all those pairs of numbers, but if it's helpful for you to list them, then do it. If you know your multiples pretty well, you may not have to do that. But don't feel like you shouldn't if you need to. All right, x squared, x times x. Minus at the end, one of each sign. And then 12 is 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. And which pair differs by 4? The 2 and the 6. And if I want to get a -4, that means the bigger number needs to go with the minus. So -6 and +2 give me -4. You're going to hate to hear this, but the way to get faster and better at factoring is by factoring, by doing the practice. All right, x times x, x squared. Positive at the end means same. So I look to the middle, which means plus plus. So 14. Let's not even write it down this time. Let's try it. What two pairs of numbers? What two numbers multiply to give me 14, but also are going to give me my 9? Noah?
7.
Let me call on somebody, Lyric. 2 and 7 is correct.
Come on, Lyric. I'm in.
+2 and +7, +9. So again, if you know your multiplication facts and don't need to write them down, then don't do that. All right, x squared, x times x. Plus at the end means same. And we know what they are by looking at the middle. So minus, minus. And then 10 has just 2 options. 1 times 10, 2 times 5. And I want to get the 7. So it's the 2 and 5. And it doesn't matter if I write 2 and then 5 or 5 and then 2. They're both on the minuses, so it doesn't matter. And then again, they should add to give you the middle term. All right, x squared, x times x. Minus at the end means one of each, and I just have one choice here. I just have to make sure I place them correctly. 1 times 3, and I want to get a -2 in the middle. So if I want to get that -2, then the bigger one goes with the negative. 3 on the minus, 1 on the plus. And my last one here. X squared is x times x. Minus at the end means one of each sign. And then 30 can be 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, not divisible by 4, 5 times 6, and then I start repeating. So I need a pair that differs by 1. So 5 and 6. And I want it to be -1. So that means the bigger number goes with the minus. So -6 and +5 give me -1.